Hi, I'm Brennan Kent with Kent Design Build, and welcome back to our 6th floor build out here at a local hospital in Lafayette, Louisiana. If you remember, last time we were here, we talked about this existing med gas. This will feed each of the bed dockers you'll see in the 14 patient rooms within this space. Throughout construction, the client had come to us and asked if we could add additional oxygen to the patient rooms. So what we did was we ran 1.5-inch copper pipe to each of the individual 14 rooms to allow for an outlet to provide additional oxygen to the patients. The last time we were here, we had talked about how important it is to keep infectious control at the top priority, being that this space is occupied 24/7. We have installed a Stark system throughout the space to separate our construction side from anywhere patients will be exposed to. Come with me and we'll go into one of the patient rooms. What makes these rooms special is that each individual space is considered an isolation room. Each room will be negative pressure, and what that means is you have a supply air that will feed the space across the patient room where their bed will be and into these return outlets, keeping the room at negative pressure at all times. What that does is it eliminates any infectious air from leaving the space, exhausting it through the roof. Another thing with these spaces is each individual room has its own pressure monitor. This will let you know and send an alarm to the hospital when the room loses negative pressure. Another thing in the last video was we had removed a window in order to get additional material into the space. Being on the 6th floor with an elevator that isn't the correct size for a lot of the material that we're bringing up, specifically metal studs within the space that have to go to deck and feed them with the crane through this space. As you see now, the window's been replaced. We don't have any more material to bring up for the remainder of the project. This room specifically you'll notice that it's unfinished. All other 13 rooms within our build out space are complete. However, we have existing exhaust that is feeding on floors 5 through 3. In order for us to complete this space, we have to install an exhaust unit on the roof, reduct the exhaust to come through here, and then we have to perform a switchover. From our last visit, you were able to see how much additional space we had to run the needed MEP above grid. This is a result of great planning prior to us coming aboard, allowing us to have a smooth transition of MEP install throughout the space. Let's go take a look on the roof of the things you don't see that make this entire space functional. What you see here is 6-inch chiller lines that we had to run. It's in a loop system. You have a supply and a return. The purpose of the supply and return is it's circulating cold water through the unit, allowing the below space to feel conditioned and drop in temperature as needed. So what you'll see is a connection point where they have begun to flush the lines. The purpose of that is to try to eliminate any of the iron and rust. Some of the work we still have left to do is we'll be adding additional structural steel supports and then putting tie wire from those support plates to the unit itself. That ensures security throughout the roof. As you can see, there's a lot that goes into making a space negative pressure, especially within an occupied hospital. We're approaching completion. We're excited to be able to turn this space over to the hospital so that it can serve the community.